welcome back to Allotment Life. Thanks for joining me. I'm back for another cold day on the plot. It's 4 degrees and feels like -1, but we do have some sunshine. The shed temperature has been down to -0.3. Let's go and see what the greenhouse got down to. -1.2. Currently 15 degrees in here. It feels so nice and warm in here. Amazing. That just shows the power of a small amount of sunshine on the greenhouse. The outside temperature hasn't gone above 4 degrees today. However, with a little bit of sunshine, the greenhouse is up to 15 degrees. I've decided I might as well stay in here whilst I'm just talking to the camera. Hello and welcome to any new subscribers. I do weekly vlogs taking you around my allotment plot and showing you what I'm getting up to each week. I upload them every Friday, and at the end of each video I include some wildlife camera footage so you can see what the wildlife have been up to whilst we've not been here. Today on the plot we are going to be having a fire and we are going to be discussing the allotment rules about bonfires. So let's go and get this set up. This is the incinerator bin that I share with my neighbour. I like to raise it up on bricks, and I prefer to use these ones with the indent because then the foot of the incinerator can sit in the indent and remain quite stable. This will allow airflow underneath and keep the incinerator nice and stable. I've got lots of things drying in the greenhouse that I've been storing for the last few months, and today's the day I can finally get rid of them and get some space back in here. So we've got all of this over here. Sunflower stalks, lots of them. Sweet corn stalks. And down here we've got the broccoli and cauliflower stems. These are really thick and will take ages to compost down in the compost bin, so I choose to dry them out and put them on the fire. I'm going to pick out some of the really dry bits, like these at the end, to help start the fire. That will be great. If it looks like I'm wearing a million layers today, it's because I am. I've broken these up to a suitable size length, and I will use them to make a little teepee in the middle. I've also got a paper bag here which I'm going to rip and scrunch up. I'll give that a minute to heat up and increase heat before I start putting things in. It's always good to have a little bit of cardboard on standby, just to chuck in occasionally if the fire looks like it's getting a bit low. That's taking quite well now. I've put a bit of cardboard in and is heating up nicely. Now that it's taken really well, I can put the incinerator lid on and let it burn. Okay, let's go through some of the rules about allotment fires. The rules for our particular council are one A4 page long, so I'm not going to go through every single one, I'm just going to cover the main ones. Rule number 1, absolutely no bonfires are allowed at all. That means you can't put a fire on the open ground, it must be in an incinerator. Rule number 2, we are only allowed to have fires here between October and March on specific days. I can understand why the council are doing that. They're trying to keep down the opportunity to have a fire, basically. Make it a little bit more challenging, particularly when one of the days is a weekday. So anyone working, that just wipes out that day altogether because of the daylight. That leaves you with one weekend a month and the hope that the weather aligns with that weekend. These are the roots, as you can see, they're really quite thick, but they've dried out nicely in the greenhouse. Into the fire they go. The next rule on the plot, you're only allowed to burn green waste and wood. You're not allowed to bring anything else, for example, carpet, plastics, any other old random goods that may have been burnt on allotment plots years ago. Nowadays it is strictly your green waste and wood. One of the other rules is that you must use your incinerator lid once you've got your fire going, and obviously you can lift it and remove it to add more stuff to your fire, but other than that you must try and use the lid as much as possible to help minimize disruption to the local residents. Another one of the rules about fires, your fire may only be lit after 12 noon and has to be extinguished before dusk. In the winter that leaves us with a window of 4 hours to get it all done in. I do understand that there are various environmental factors to take into consideration here, and generally I will only have a fire once a year. I just want to show you the size of some of the sunflower stalks that we've got. As you can see, this one is absolutely huge. I'd say that's probably about 7 centimeters diameter. And that would take absolutely ages to break down into the compost heap. So I like to save these up, dry them out and burn them. The council do also encourage us to compost, and anything that exceeds the space for compost that we've got, you can take home and put in your council green waste bin. However, there's very limited car access to this site, and getting things in and out at this time of year is not practical. You can't get a car anywhere near the plot at this time of year. So to take things home, again, not really feasible. Thought I was on fire then. That's all of my green waste and wood into the bonfire. I'll leave that now until it finishes, and then once that's out, I'll cover it with water and extinguish it. I can then use the ash on the ground, but I won't do that today. I'll do that probably the next time I'm here. Let me know if your allotment plot has lots of rules about fires, whether they're as strict as ours or whether they're more relaxed. I know that some sites don't allow fires at all, so I must be grateful that we are allowed them under heavy restrictions. The fire's completely burnt down now. It's time to extinguish it and head off home. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next Friday.